What it is, people, I am dukedobbins, FTW, and one of the things I love most about the Olympics is getting to see a whole bunch of sports that I otherwise rarely have the opportunity to spectate. Things like curling and water polo. It's a great way for less popular sports to boost their profile and win the attention of mainstream audiences, which is why eSports and anyone who cares about eSports should be aggressively trying to secure an event slot for it in the 2024 Paris Olympics. It was recently reported that Tony Estanguet, co-president of the Paris Olympic Bid Committee, told the Associated Press that he will hold talks with eSports representatives and the IOC, that is the International Olympic Committee, about the possibility of gaming joining the 2024 program. Estanguet believes that a contest of digital prowess should be considered a legitimate sport if the Olympics is to maintain its relevance for new generations of fans. He goes on to say, and I quote, "The youth, yes, they are interested in esport and this kind of thing. Let's look at it, let's meet them, let's try and see if we can find some bridges." What he's basically saying is, we'll do it if the demand is there, we'll do it if we're sure we can get enough people to watch. It's possible, but we need to know that it's viable. The Olympics have actually seen a significant decline in viewership among millennials. They are looking for a way to attract younger demographics. Esports is the way to do it. Look at what so many millennials grew up on. Samurai Jack, Dragon Ball Z, Gundam Warrior, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! These were some of the most popular television shows among my generation growing up. And most of us never even understood the story or plot or even the strategic nuances of each battle. We just all loved watching excessive animated violence. We appreciated the explosions and people getting tossed around like ragdolls. Esports can offer that in a way traditional sports can't. Because it's animated, it can be absurdly excessive. It can provide the beauty of competition and fireworks at the same time. And it's worth mentioning the IOC officially recognizes chess and bridge as sports. Neither of them has ever actually been popular enough to secure a slot in the actual games, but it means there is already some precedent for non-physical competitions in the Olympics, and gaming is a lot more popular than chess and fucking bridge, okay? And competitions of the mind deserve to be celebrated as much as competitions of the body. Feats of the mind are just as impressive as feats of the body. Competitions of the mind have a much greater impact on this world than competitions of the body. It's just that mental competitions have never been entertaining to watch. Chess isn't a thrill to spectate. Debates will put people to sleep, and the ones who stay awake change the channel. But with esport, we finally have a way to see the talents of the human mind manifest in such a way as to be very, very entertaining if done properly. And keep in mind, that is the whole point of the Olympics, entertainment. The ancient story behind the games was that they were first conceived by the gods to entertain Zeus. So they raced and wrestled, because word games wouldn't have been that fun to watch, alright? But guess what? We're on a whole new level now. I bet your ass Zeus would enjoy some Overwatch, okay? And sometime soon, when we all have to go down in bunkers or up in a space station to survive our dying world, well then esports will be the only viable athletic competition left, so it's best we start examining how to maximize its entertainment value now. Presently, the most popular esports title out there is League of Legends, which drew tens of millions of viewers to its World Cup, actually outpacing the 2016 NBA Finals. And the discussions surrounding esports inclusion in the Olympics all seem to be predicated on the assumption that League would be the game of choice, but I think this would be a huge mistake. Overwatch is the better esport to spectate, and it would have a stronger performance at the Olympics. It's true that League has more players and gets way more views on its professional tournaments, but that could change rapidly. Keep in mind, League has had like a decade to grow its fan base compared to just over a year for Overwatch, and in that short period of time, Overwatch has hit 30 million players, or nearly half of what League acquired after a decade. Alright, it's already overtaken League as the most played title in Korean gaming cafes, which is a big deal over there. It's more likely than not that Overwatch is the more popular title by 2024, and ultimately Overwatch is the better choice for growing esports as a whole for a few reasons. The first being, Overwatch is much easier for a casual spectator to understand. One of the fundamental things that has held esports back is how hard it is for someone to understand what they are watching if they haven't played the game. If you haven't played League of Legends, you're not going to have any idea what the fuck is going on when you're watching it, even if you have extensive experience with other games. I've never played curling or water polo, but both these sports are still a lot of fun to watch because it's easy to understand the basic concept of how to win, and more importantly, I can grasp at all times what is happening on the screen in front of me. I never felt that way with League before I played it. Hell, even after having played it, I still feel really confused sometimes. And this is the central problem that has held esports back, okay? It has to be something that even people who aren't avid gamers can appreciate, okay? Just like those of us who aren't avid tennis players can appreciate a tennis match. Very few people are going to go through the hassle of learning all the ins and outs of League's convoluted objectives and progression system just so they can spectate it casually. To do well in the Olympics, it's got to be something people can appreciate the first time they see it without even ever having heard of it before. League has had the benefit of a massive ass player base that already understands the game to draw viewers from, but it will always be significantly handicapped when trying to draw viewers from outside its player base, which is something I suspect will ultimately doom esports Olympics bid if we rely on League exclusively. Overwatch has a great amount of depth to its mechanics and such, but a casual observer doesn't have to be an expert in that shit to appreciate the spectacle of Reinhardt, smashing someone into a wall, or, Genji whacking him with a sword, watching a Roadhog ult fling people into the air, or a Lucio boot people off the map. All that shit will be entertaining to watch, even if you haven't played the game before. You'll understand, like, when somebody falls off the map, they're dead. You'll get that, okay? Watching a good Overwatch match from the right camera angle when everyone's ulting on one another, it's like watching fucking fireworks. It's just as intense. It's a spectacle of explosions and shit flying around at high velocities and vibrant-ass colors. It is visually impressive and interesting, and just like with the cartoons back in the day, you don't have to know the specifics of what's going on to appreciate the spectacle in front of you. And the other reason Overwatch has a better shot at taking esports mainstream when compared to games like League or even CSGO is that it can provide those kinds of visually impressive spectacles so regularly, whereas League and Counter-Strike rarely have them at all. There's a reason why League was able to beat out the NBA Finals, but not the Super Bowl, okay? The reason the Super Bowl is always the most viewed television event in the world is because of the big moments. Like, you remember when James Harrison made that interception for a 100-yard touchdown return on the final play of the half in the '09 Super Bowl? There was more intensity and more excitement and passion in that 12-second moment than there was in all the NBA Finals matches and World Series games combined, bro. That's why they have to have so many of the NBA games and the World Series games, because otherwise they wouldn't get enough views, all right? Super Bowl just gotta do it once. Spectating sports is about making you fucking feel things. It's about leaving you in total awe of the feat or the event you have just witnessed. The reason football is so popular is because it has like 10 times as many of those kind of moments as most other sports. Interceptions, fumbles, kickoff returns, huge hits, huge field goals, huge runs, huge passes. Moments where you hold your breath and are completely fixated on what's happening in front of you. And the thing about Overwatch is that it has even more of those kind of moments than football. Big ass plays, combos, counters, diva bombs, 5-man reses, sextuple rocket barrages, overtimes that go on for minutes at a time with both teams just barely scraping by, and there's just a diva left contesting the point and she loses her suit, but the save from Lucio who arrives just in time to drop the beat, and they both still die, but they held out just long enough for Mercy to get back with the res, and she reses and they're up, and at a certain point you realize you've been holding your breath the whole time and you're about to die and pass out. But not in that order. And I swear to God, that kind of shit feels just like watching a crazy-ass desperate football play where they're like lateraling 10 million times with no time left on the clock. It's exactly like that, except in Overwatch, that kind of shit happens so fucking frequently. And then when the whole fight's over and just one guy barely survives with 10 HP, and later on they get a huge save and stop the payload with just like 0.01 of a meter left. It's just how many moments are there where you're holding your breath? You hold your breath when Brady has put the ball in the air for a pass. You hold your breath when Diva has the Kobe bomb in the air for a kill. That's why Overwatch would be a better face for esports than League or CSGO or COD or whatever. Alright, it's the big moments. League big moments are kind of like chess big moments. Only the experts who are paying close attention will understand the significance of a lot of the most intense moments. Like, I went to a chess tournament once when I was in the chess club, 7th grade, drowning in that pussy, and I remember when someone made a big play, a lot of people spectating wouldn't even notice because it's hard to tell. Someone would get checkmate and they didn't say checkmate loud enough and nobody even noticed the game was over. And that's kind of how I feel about League. A big moment is like a double kill late in the game, but it's just two tiny little creatures fall over and the announcers are like, wow, what a setback for Team 420 Giggles. They failed to get their teleport off, a major misstep this late in the game. It just doesn't have the big in-your-face climactic up on your feet, hands in the air like, holy hell, what did I just see? It is just not visually impressive. But it's not hard to appreciate the significance of the diva bomb that blows 6 bodies into the air. 5-year-olds who haven't played the game will be like, damn, those fools just got fucked up, that was cool. It's the big plays. They're not gonna have that reaction to some shit on League, or even CSGO, like what, a big snipe? I don't know, maybe a quad snipe will get people off their feet. What Overwatch has that most other major esports titles don't is the big moments, the big, spectacular, visually impressive, entertaining, fun to watch, exciting, action-packed, spectating gameplay. Alright, it's like the difference between a chess player setting up a checkmate 3 moves down the road and someone catching a 75-yard pass, okay? They are both as significant in their respective competitions, but the 75-yard pass is something everyone, expert and non-experts, will be able to appreciate the significance of. It will entertain them all equally. It's something we will all be impressed and stimulated by, and that's what's important for making a sport something worth watching. That's the shit that makes it fun to watch.
They're making the rules up as they go then. Oh my God, don't do this. No. Oh my God. Oh my God. John, don't do this, John. The God Almighty. Jesus. Stone Cold. Stone Cold. Stone Cold. He is broken.
That being said, if esports wants to get on the same level as real sports, it needs to learn from real sports and get some better fucking camera angles. I think viewing the shit predominantly from first-person perspectives is a huge mistake. You miss out on so much of what's going on in the match at any given time, it's oftentimes impossible to tell what's even happening on your screen from first person. Like when a pro Genji ults with mouse and keyboard, nobody's gonna have any idea what they're looking at from his perspective. They gotta be doing that like 45-degree elevated angle at a slant where it's centered on the whole field or court. You see that in every sport, football, basketball, tennis, soccer. Right now they have one super shitty fixed camera angle angle on each point, where it's like eye level from behind where you can't really see shit, or they do this goofy ass thing where they try to free cam it but they fail and just immediately switch back to first person on one of the players. They need to build in fixed camera angles into the game on each point payload and major choke point. In professional sports, they pay the cameraman ridiculous sums of money. They have a whole team working behind the scenes in real time during every match, and they have enough cameras that they can see any spot at any time from any distance and any angle. That's the shit Overwatch needs to really maximize on its viewing potential. And I've seen Blizzard and Activision pour so much resources into marketing and other stupid shit, when really all they need to do is invest money in the game to have some better camera angles, okay? Hire the guys from the NFL. It's like an easy, simple solution that would make such a big difference. What they also might consider, cut a deal with Microsoft, get in on that HoloLens action. Put the HoloLens shit in a stadium, except instead of Minecraft, make it Overwatch, life-size Overwatch hologram in your face, upgrade that shit so it looks as real as the Tupac hologram. Let people get fucked up and high in the stands, make the fucking seats in the stadium vibrate when shit goes down in the arena like a Reinhardt hammerdown shakes the whole stadium. It'll be the most significant event of the Olympics, hands down. Boom, billion-dollar idea, giving it out for free, like a boss. You're welcome, Kaplan. The For the Win query of the day is, what is your favorite sport to watch and why? Thanks for watching. Please remember to rate. This is Batman, signing out. May the force be with you all.